The fall planting season is here, and although I have way less specialty varieties than I started off with planting because of our seedlings dying time after time, I won't let that stop me from planting a beautifully functional garden for us to enjoy. Today, I will be filling our container beds with the soil that we recently removed from all of them, and we will be planting peas on 5 trellises, along with planting cabbage, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and collards. I'm going to show you what my plan is for optimal planting and garden organization this season that I believe will help me to become a better gardener. And if you don't have a system already in place, maybe this will help you organize your garden as well. Finally, we will be getting this area cleaned up. It is way past due for a good clean. There is nothing like a nice, tidy, and well organized garden to really create a peaceful atmosphere. I don't plan to do much chatting throughout this video. I hope that you enjoy watching me plant and clean and that you walk away inspired to get out into your own gardens to create a space that you will absolutely love. So along with peas inside of this bed, I'm going to be planting cabbage in this bed. I'm going to plant 2 for now, but I do have some purple cabbage that's so teeny. I want to give it a little bit more time, and then I'm probably going to just pluck it right here in the middle, so that everything has enough space. I do have this broccoli romanesco. I'm going to go ahead and stick this in there instead, since it looks like it wants to survive, although it's not as big as maybe it should be right now. I'm going to stick it in there and see how it grows. So I'm going to plant the same exact cabbage right across the street from that other bed. I have this little chewed up Brussels sprout that I'm going to plant in that bed as well. Look how teeny it is. It's been chewed up, but it's coming back. Inside of these file cabinet planters, I am going to plant a broccoli right in the center. And the second file cabinet planter right across from the first one, I'm going to be planting collards. In these last 2 wooden boxes, I'm going to be planting some more cabbage. So one of the things that I am doing differently this year that I did not do last year is I am, instead of putting tags on everything, I am going to just write it down in my garden journal. I'm going to write down what I planted and where, and then I'm also going to write the date that I planted it on. I've been in situations last year where I took the time and wrote all the tags, and with garden markers, there's a such thing, by the way. It's supposed to last and not wash off. All of my tags washed off. And so I did all that work. I mean, not that it's hard, but I mean, it's time consuming, right? I did all of that and then still did not have tags. So in order to improve on what I learned from last year, I'm just going to write it down in my notebook. That way I know exactly what I planted, where I planted it, and when I planted it, so that if I am trying to figure out, man, why is this growing slow? Or, wow, this seems like it's growing fast, I can calculate how many days it's actually been in the soil. So I would be able to keep a good record of its growth. Another thing that I'm finding really helpful and beneficial is to write the vegetable down on the day that it's supposed to be either transplanted or sown in ground, and then highlight it according to whether it's supposed to be started indoors or if it's supposed to be planted straight into the ground. And I also think that this is going to help me in the long run stay on top of what needs to be planted and when, because just going through all of my seed packets doesn't really help me. It's helpful, but it doesn't completely help me. So I think adding this with the actual calendar is going to help me just so much more keep track and to stay on top of what I should be planting and when. And how I did this was I went to the Old Farmer's Almanac and I typed in my zip code and I looked under fall planting, and it tells you when something is supposed to be planted indoors, started from seed, or directly sown into the soil. So I just took that list. So obviously, well, maybe it's not obvious, they don't actually have every single plant that you could ever plant. For example, there's something on here that they didn't actually have, but that I plan to plant. So they just have the typical things that a person would plant. If it's a specialty item that I would have to look on the back of the pack and figure that out myself, but I can still write it on here and keep up with it for next year. So I do believe that this is going to help me stay so much more organized. It's like we learn and we grow, we figure out what's working and what's not working. And the thing is there may be something that works for somebody that doesn't work for you. And I'm figuring that out for myself. And it's a lot based on your personality, things that don't really make a difference in the main scheme of things. So rather I put tags, for instance. If I decide to put tags on everything, that's fine. If I decide not to and write it down in the book, that's fine. There's some things that are definite, but these type of things that just go and ebb and flow with people's different personalities are so wonderful. And it's so good to try different things so that you can see how you are most productive. I'm finding that it's really, really important to search yourself. What are your habits? I mean, we do need to develop better habits, but what are your habits right now? Where do you want to be? And figure out how are you going to get there. And so that is what I am journeying on, is figuring out how to be the best version of myself in this season that I'm in right now as a gardener. With what I know, the experience that I have, it's like, how can I be better now than I was last fall? And so that is what we are figuring out and we are journeying onto. This is such a wonderful, wonderful experience, and I love it. I love it. Okay, so I'm also kind of convinced that this is a really, really great place to have that bench. So I put a chair here to see if I like sitting here, and y'all, I do. I like sitting here. I like the view behind me. I think it's all nice and green and all the things, and so I'm really thinking that this would be a perfect place to have seating. Hey, bring me that grape right there, Mama. What's it called? Can you pick up that that black thing over there and those two pieces of
Oh, that'd be so cool.
this is broccoli, that's collard. So the garden is nice and tidy. Thank you guys so much for joining us in the garden today. I appreciate each and every one of you. And like I said before, I hope that this encourages you to get out into your own garden and see what you can do to make a space that you too will absolutely love. I will see you guys next time.